Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, Chiwempala. Good evening, everybody. I know you are receiving us from different parts of the world. So thank you very much for joining TVBAKWETU today. Elias Munshya here, and I'm coming to you live from Calgary, Alberta. This is a late night chat with me. So when I say late night chat, what I really mean is that this is for the people of Chiwempala Bantu Ekwidide. If we could not, it is still very early. This is just like 14 hours, but it's 22 hours in Zambia. So you are all supposed to be sleeping. I don't expect anyone to be awake right now, right? You are all supposed to be sleeping. However, for those that are awake, I'm going to have a chat with you, so share with as many people as possible. And I also want to answer a few questions. Yesterday, we had a very wonderful broadcast, and we touched a little bit of the things that we were talking about yesterday. But today, I want to slowly look at your questions and answer some of them. It's a lot of things that are happening in Zambia, and sometimes it's difficult to follow through. So please do that, and let's have a chat. That's it. We are not on Topstar. So from the KBN network, we've been on Topstar and no DSTV. KBN is supposed to be on both Topstar and DSTV, but it appears like we've only been on Topstar, which is pretty good. And so we come on Topstar and KBN network on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So you'll be able to catch us 22 hours Chiwempala time. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And so you can catch us through that. These other days, they are almost like random. The rest of the days are random. And so you catch us a little earlier when we come together as TVBAKWETU, right? So I want to recognize some of our friends that have subscribed, Facebook subscription, that have subscribed to our page, the Dr. Elias Munshya page. So I want to mention them. If you want to subscribe to our page, so as this broadcast is coming right now on Elias Munshya page particularly, you are going to notice that as comments are rolling, there is a particular icon, aka green, right? So the other icons, yambia, love, care, like, shan, you remember those two things. But kuli kamwaka is very, very unique. And so if you find that icon, you click there, you can subscribe to our page, like monthly subscription. And the reason why we must do monthly subscription is because we want to have you play a role in what is going on our page. And then when you do that, I'll be giving some very, very special presents to our monthly subscribers. For example, there is this TVBAKWETU thing. Kala kainge kala okukuli blue okukuli white apapali orange so tafire bomba bwino so tamwene. There we go. So it apalo to my cards, various things, and having access to me and several of our friends behind the scenes. Pakwat mwaisako na imwe mwajoinako ama behind the scenes discussions. That's pretty good. Some of the answers I can't give pamuela, but if you come behind, we can do that. So that is what it is. So kariaka icon karia, you click it, and then you can subscribe monthly. It's a very low. Okay. So we have several. I'm going to mention them. So if I don't mention you yet, it means the mbitaira process. But next that process membership, I'll come back and mention you. So Nomsa Notando Mwamba. Nomsa Notando Mwamba. Linda Banks. Now, you know, Linda Banks co-hosts our show sometimes, but she's also a subscriber. Linda Banks. Maria Case. Now, I know Maria Case. Some of the names, I think they're Facebook names. So, muga tutumine your real name so that we appropriately acknowledge you. But Maria Case, Mariam Maraswa Ibrahim, Rowan Mumbo, Jones K. Kasonso, Mia Admini, Maimbo Malesu, Joe Flynn, Victoria Nguluve, Honorable Kasololo Chisenga, Samuel Mumena Kajoba, Shupe Piri, Chimu St. George, Nomsa Notando Mwamba, Nomsa Yaksta Pia Nakaidi. Maybe you subscribe twice, twice. And then Mundia Lubinda, Chipepo Walia Sichone, Likwasi Joan Mubiana. Hey, I should Joan Mubiana. Can she call even a face name? Likwasi Joan Mubiana. Thank you. Barbara Chanda, Kapalu Kakoma, Benjamin E. Mumena, Shamiso Gray. And so those are the 22. Those are like 22. So our goal is to have as many people as possible. So, Kariaka icon Karia, Mukati Nikepo. Mukati Nikepoka icon so that you can become a subscriber to our page. And there'll be several other good things that will be coming. That is the goal. The reason is we want to ensure that we stay and we continue coming to you. And then you also become part of this brand, the TVBAKWETU brand, right? Because it's really your brand. So we want you to feel like you're really part of it. No. Part of the brand is to actually subscribe and become a regular contributor to TVBAKWETU. So thank you very much. And then we also have star senders, okay? So I'm going to bring out the star senders for this month. The star senders for this month, let's see, I'm going to retrieve them. Where are you? Yeah, so for sending stars, what you do is you just send stars. I think Kwalibaka option Kamagaranda, send stars. Then you send stars. I think Facebook has given you some free stars. So if every account on Facebook has free stars, so you have like 75 free stars, I can't remember, but you have several free stars. So take advantage of them and send it to TVBAKWETU. And then if you want to send more, Facebook wants you to buy them from them. Imagine, they are very, very interesting. Facebook wants ways and means, okay? So for stars, this before the end of the month, we are hoping to have 75,000 stars. That's my goal. That's the goal that they've created. 75,000. You know where we are at? 5,700. So 70,000 more stars? That's not easy. That's the challenge that they've given me as a content creator by Facebook. They want me to try and raise 75,000 stars. Wow. Okay. I think it's doable. All right. So I'm going to I'm going to show you how many of those, how many stars give us, like star give us this this month. Once I open it, I'm going to show you. Okay. That's how the stars thing work. Okay, so you just find stars and send. Now Mwemba has already sent. Number, I don't know Mwemba because I think Mwemba does this all the time. Mwemba, these are not the stars. They type of a star. No. Kuya from Facebook. And I think at Facebook Lite in Zambia doesn't have stars. It doesn't have stars. So maybe that could explain it. But for those that have it, I think you can even see it, the option to send stars. So you can do that. On YouTube, you can also you can also do it on YouTube. So what you can do on YouTube is you send gifts. So while the live is showing, there are several things you can do, like you send gifts on YouTube as well. And there are several other perks that you're going to have on YouTube, and we can invite you to back the scene back. What is it? You know, in the back screen, so that you can chat with me and stuff like that. Our goal is to make TVBAKWETU become dependent on you, right? Because it is really your product. And I'm just like the leader of this product, but this product is truly yours. No, but niranda kwana karimoni politician mwamwana. Hello, this is not even politics, because if you don't about in politician, if you ever politician, balando what mukamvotere finga mwamvotera. I think mwamvotera everything will be okay. A politician. I don't think about take even to fear change. At my mom, if you change shani, I didn't know nature. I'm trying to scrutinize and methodical. No, if there is nothing like methodical, you just subscribe and you become part of TVBAKWETU. That's it. Simple. All right. So we look forward to that. Lady Ruth is asking at Facebook, what is the topic today? Is it Facebook stars? Yes, because we've not talked about Facebook stars. People have been sending stars for the past few months, and we've never mentioned about it. So today, we've got to talk about it, to encourage people and to say thank you. Bantu ushitasha mwana wandosh. Tetukwate fie page ya kobati fintu filewama everything is going well. Ero ifata tulebiebo kobati twatotela. Nish, what kind of life is that? Imagine life without thanks. Ukuwa bulo kutotela. Ukutotela zero. Okutotela 00000. No. Okutotela kufiri kwa 45,000 thanks. That is what we need to be doing. You know, there's got to be a deficit between okutotela and whatever it is. So okutotela must always beat abashtotela by at least 1 million. At least 1 million. That's why we are doing that. Yeah. Somebody's asking whether Facebook in Zambia has stars. I think so. There are several Zambians who've been able to partner with us and send us stars. And in fact, some can, subscribe as well, right? You can do that very, very easily. And so please know that TVBAKWETU is about you, and everything we've done and we continue to do is because of you. So be part of brands, you know. Brands, you know what I mean? That you are part of the brand that is helping our people, you know. No. So be part of it, and I am going to retrieve our people that have been sending stars, and I'll let you know once I retrieve them, because it's taking slightly longer to retrieve them. But as for the monthly subscribers, I've already mentioned them to you. They are 22, and to those 22, thank you. Already, DKK Caro J, very quickly, has already sent Danish Krona 9, a super sticker on YouTube. Okay, so all those are good. Now I'm here to answer any question that you may have. So among the 22, so the 22 are the ones that were last month, but I know that there are several others that have signed up recently, like Himba Mioba Malambo, one of our TVBAKWETU family. She subscribed very recently. I think this week it all went well, and so Ngayachta update list to the 26, share 4. So once we've updated the 4, I'm going to mention the next 4, and so let's do it, right? Let's all own part of this thing. TVBAKWETU, it's all for you. Okay. Now I just want to get a few questions, because I just want to chat with you. Our TVBAKWETU crew is going to come, and we always have something to say. If we always have something to say, anything to say, we always have something to say. That I've already mentioned about YouTube. Okay. So there is a sticker. It says stickers. So you can get stickers off YouTube and then send them. We're also going to do the monthly subscriber thing on YouTube. It's slightly hard, but we are going to do that. Okay. No more KBN. No. KBN is still there. What I was trying to clarify was some of you went to DSTV, the KBN channel on DSTV. I think channel 247. Is it channel 247? I'll look for it. Where is it? So you went to that one and you found that it wasn't there. So 279. So DSTV channel 279. Some of you went to channel 279 and you found that we were not there. So I think there could be issues with KBN and DSTV. I don't know. So we were not on that channel. But on Topstar channel 102, we were there. Topstar channel 102. And so that is pretty good on KBN. So we are still on KBN on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. And then the other days we are not on KBN. Okay? Boniface atatulala kuno damulala eh. What do you think about SC Sangwa's argument? Okay, I'm going to get your topics from you and then we are going to look at it. Number one, Sangwa's argument. Now, which ones, right? Because Sangwa has had several arguments. So which one are we going to look at? Because even the letter that he has written, there are several layers to the argument. So sometimes chawa moko fichita analyze ka. Kwana kalimwe chintu chikulu sana. It's like ni bread. It's like bread chikulu. And then apa bali this issue, the other issue. So first kuch putula, mwa putula in several pieces. Tukwa timulie wino. Panuka wasenda bread chonso kuchisheta mkanwa, it can't work. So putula, and then you know how to deal with it. So Sangwa's argument, there are several arguments to it, and so I'll try and give my opinion about it on Sangwa. What are the other topics? Where is General Chipakupaku? General Chipakupaku is in Emmanuel Daka. Emmanuel Daka, I've not yet responded to your message. I'll respond. Okay. Now, I've seen your message, Emmanuel Daka. Nkachita respond. Message function on the Elias Munshya page, Dr. Elias Munshya page, but disconnected. So the core function. So we must find a way of getting in touch, Emmanuel. No, General Chipakupaku is very much alive. He's very much in Lusaka, you know, and we'll be having him when opportunity allows. So he has not left TVBAKWETU. He's still part and parcel of TVBAKWETU. Suale Mlele, how much is this subscription? About $3, $3 or $4. Himba is the latest person to subscribe, so she'll tell us about $3 to $4. Imagine. Taumfwa, nshumfwa. Moteka isimumba. Inene muko teshua, newo mlele bati nshumfwa. Kwa liba. We got so how do we access those cups? They're there. There is a company in Zambia that makes them for us, and they are sold at a very good price. But what I was trying to say is, if you subscribe, there will be several perks. Now at Chilanda, there are several perks for subscribers. But the most important perk is that you are being part of a page that is helping our country. Even political parties want membership. Number if we are not even a political party, why shouldn't we have membership? Even the government, imagine government of the Republic of Zambia, even government of Canada. Okay. Elias, I'm so proud of you. Me too. I'm so proud of what you do, Mwansa, and keep it up. Keep it up. It's always good to have you. We are missing you. Genesis Kaweme to thank you for doing that. Jimmy Chidiata, how? Yes, how? So just pama comments up pay mwalaka monaka icon katuka blue green. Kashinga nka blue na nka green. But epo kawaka icon. Kutuma join. imwe masters tuliranda na imwe YouTube nindanda. YouTube, you can click on subscription. You can also click on a gift. You can do it. You can do it. Gladys, good evening, my family viewers and Bakwetu. One love from DK, from Denmark. And that's our co-presenter, Gladys. Gladys, you need to make sure that we have your clear name here. To require to the guesser, not who is it. Okay, so please do that. So where is the topics? Where are the topics I want to see? So Sangwa's argument. Any other question? What do you make of PF aligned directors and parastatals and other ministries for so directors and parastatals? Okay, right, because today it's your topics. Does the current Chief Justice, Deputy Chief Justice, so the other thing is Chief Justice, Acting Chief Justice, Mike Omsonda. When is the president getting rid of district DAOs in order to appoint TCs? Okay. Yafulama topics haya. Munshana imu shout out YouTube yonse. But I've already shouted out to YouTube. What? Tamulefande lumbula YouTube. Jirabeko. No. If anything, YouTube, that's where we need to concentrate and grow. Imwe pa Facebook tukamisha tukaye ku YouTube. What do you think? Yeah. $4.99 for subscribers. $4.99 for subscribers, which is pretty good. You become a TVBAKWETU subscriber. That will be good. Vashima pepolero vale lomba fie tights. No teine, Usheni nebo. It's Facebook. Mulembe peshati ni nebo. Every mbepe na vashima pepo. But no, it's the pastors that one. Ni church it's the church. Okay, church in nebo pente. And if you pente kaidi. Na imwewene kukatolika. Tani na imwewene kukatolika ifechiba. Lero ni pachimpempe Saturday lero. Na imwewene pachimpempe. That's how it works. Number, you want all this content. Ile yafe mwela content jonse ile yafe mwela. No. You have to subscribe. It's amazing how everything is so related. Pastors are salesmen. You've got to like even the everyone is a salesman. Even the Pope is a salesman. So you find that quite what skills to talk about. It can be used in nearly every field. So even in broadcasting, that's what happens. Number over ZNBC and DSTV. DSTV is a private company. ZNBC is a public company. That's why they ask you if you pay, it will show. And then what shows is just government programs, So you are paying a lot of money for ZNBC, and what do you see? First thing, it's president, and then party leaders, party cadres, and Americans. All right. So let's do that. YouTubers are simply the stars. When social media was bummed up, YouTube was an exception. Yeah, that's why we love you. We like you, YouTube. Stanford Mwinga, Elias, how is it possible that our constitution be written in Zambian language? I think so. It must be written in Zambian languages. One of the motivating factors for TVBAKWETU was that we got involved very much when we tried to explain Bill 10, Muchivemba na Mufitunu. I think that's what happened, because I passionately believe that the constitution of Zambia should be in the language that people understand. Kaingin constitution yago. Because even it's Sungu, when it comes to English, if we have any simple English, not English, nation constitution yam sangoshan. So the Minister of Justice, Haimbe, to refer a constitution nama laws mu Zambia yabi in plain English yako but nangu grade 8 aberenga kuti understand ngamulekani efintu kulanda fyati fitwakanya no tukulanda fyati fitwakanya no mbuku bumfe kisungu chakuba to muntu mwine aba confused teshibe efuliranda. No, our laws should be very clear, and so yes, the constitution should be in Lamba. Imagine constitution muchilamba nangu muchilala. That would be nice. The feasibility of the president a president stopping the stopping for high fives number peangama high five is a new president Moevo. Are you excited? This is honeymoon, so during honeymoon kwimini na waposha kwa abantu but ngayaka kana nishmwaishu ati fintu fiaka kana, right? Anyway, Sangwa's argument. So let me do some of the arguments that are of the questions that have been asked here today. Sangwa's argument, John Sangwa's argument are a lot. It's several. It's like one big loaf of bread. There is, first of all, the immediate. What Sangwa wants immediately is he's asking the president to use his discretion at the moment, not to follow what has always been happening, okay? So what he wants to do is ultimately to ask the president to advertise the position of Chief Justice to the public so that abachire qualify, but apply. That is what his immediate beef is. All right, that's what he wants. But the government's position from Justice Haimbe's position is, let's continue talking about this, but we can't just implement it now. You know, in fact, one of the professors, Nalami Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, let it be done now. There is really nothing that would stop the president or the Judicial Service Commission to advertise the position at the moment, because the Judicial Service Commission a lot of discretion. If it wants to advertise, I think it can. Okay. Now that is one thing. The other thing is the way the legislation is written is that the Judicial Service Commission only recommends. So the Judicial Service Commission does not make the appointment. It only recommends. The president appoints at the recommendation of the Judicial Service Commission. So if the Judicial Service Commission brings you a name as a president, and so president advertise, I think, in my opinion, but of course there is pushback because the official government position at the moment, particularly from the letter that our Justice Minister wrote, was there are several reforms that we need to undertake. We think that this is going to be in conflict with several pieces of legislation. And so for now, let the president go ahead and appoint the way past chief justices have been appointed, right? Let's do that. And then if we need changes, we are going to do those changes with the input of several stakeholders. That is government's position, okay? But that's one layer of what State Counsel John Sangwa is saying. But the second layer of what he's saying is actually saying that the current Deputy Chief Justice does not actually qualify. Okay? So the problem is Professor John Sangwa brings a lot of arguments, but sometimes two are confused. Okay? So he wants the job advertised and scrutiny, but he's also arguing that he doesn't feel like he qualifies. It doesn't feel like the acting Chief Justice, the current acting Chief Justice, qualifies to be a substantive Chief Justice. He has provided several reasons, but among the reasons, how can this be a reason? One of the reasons was that I don't know how relevant that would be to the appointment of Chief Justice. Or whatever it is. I have no idea what that means. So whether that's actually what State Counsel Sangwa said. But that is what he's arguing. He's actually saying that this gentleman who is acting at the moment does not qualify. President acting Chief Justice bantu mu 1995 ilio mwaleshite nganda from Tobacco Board of Zambia. Lawyer. I don't know how relevant that is. And so those are the arguments. So do you think acting Chief Justice is not qualified? That he's actually a substantive Deputy Chief Justice. And his rise to become Deputy Chief Justice was quite swift, right? When President Lungu appointed Justice Michael Msonda to be Deputy Chief Justice, he had to ignore several people that were senior at the Supreme Court. Anyway, so John Sangwa says he does not feel like he's the right person. The next layer of argument that John Sangwa, State Counsel, is saying is he wants a financially independent judiciary. Financially independent judiciary, because that's what the Constitution says. But the issue is, what does that mean? What does a financially independent judiciary? What Honorable John Sangwa is saying, State Counsel, is the judiciary should be given money by the state directly, by the government, by the executive. The executive should give money to the judiciary, and then the judiciary should be able to run its own affairs with the money that it gets directly from the treasury. Now what he's saying is now these are things that are public. John Sangwa, in his letter, he said that he went to the Deputy Chief Justice and Acting Chief Justice. Acting Chief Justice, what do you think about the independence of the judiciary? And the Chief Justice Acting Chief Justice answered him and said, we are okay. We'll continue depending on the executive to give us funds. It's okay. Now, if you're not follow John Sangwa Kovati, Apo ba Musonda, Nadia Bepusha, Elo Banjas Kovati Filifio Bueno, she does not believe Okovati, he can assure independence of the judiciary. Now, you tell me, do you think independence of the judiciary means that the judiciary must have its own money? One. Secondly, the Minister of Finance should give the judiciary its own money, meaning that the judiciary should become more like a government on its own, have its own Minister of Finance, have its own treasurer, have its own person to be responsible for the huge chunks of money that will be coming. At the moment, the judiciary's finances are done through the executive, through the Ministry of Finance. Even the money that you pay to the judiciary, it goes into control whatever it is at the Bank of Zambia, which is a government account. Does independence mean that the judiciary should be able to have its own money? In the Commonwealth, in the common law countries like Canada, Australia, Britain, or anywhere else, finances are run by the executive. Even here, when you are suing somebody and you are paying money, you actually pay to the government of Alberta. Government of Alberta. Meaning the financial system is tied to the executive. And then the court system is reliant on the political priorities of the executive in order to fund it or to fund its programs. I think that is the system that is set across the Commonwealth countries, common law countries. So it will be a huge, huge innovation if the understanding of Honorable John Sangwa's understanding of independence of the judiciary is that the judiciary should actually just be given a lump sum of money and then it does whatever it wants to do with it. Is the issue in the Zambian judiciary have to do with financial independence? Zambian judges, now let me be very honest here. Money is not the only thing that can lead to judicial independence. Zambian judges are one of the best paid lawyers in Zambia right now, one of the best paid lawyers. They have very good conditions of service when you compare their education, their influence with their peers in the government of the Republic of Zambia today. If we have issues with their independence, then the question is, with all this money, with all these perks, they are not independent. Nish, what is going to give them independence? Independence alone is not, money alone is not enough to make you independent, because if it were enough, our judges in Zambia would be independent, completely independent. But we have questions today, and yet they get a lot of money. Judges in Zambia are well paid. It is a well-paying job to be a judge. A high court, particularly high courts, superior courts, ama courts with that superior courts, they are very well paid. No mbangatabari independent ni ishi, basala fie ukana ba independent. Ulupia lwe na uteko bula bafolesha mwe. Na mfeni high court judge, you'll be comfortable. Neryo wafua, you'll be comfortable. Your family will be comfortable. Ema conditions of service. No, but if you have all these wonderful conditions of service, why should you be compromised? If we are looking for independence of the judges, we must also speak directly to the people, directly to the lawyers. Okay, but it would just be independent. If you want to be independent, just be independent. Just be fair in your judgments. Okay. So those are some of the layers of the arguments that John Sangwa is making. The other one is, how do we actually get to appoint judges in general? At the moment, in Zambia at the moment, ama judges, but dumukira fie. You know what it means? Dumukira. But dumukira fie. But dumuka. Takwaba a transparent process. So to the extent that Mr. John Sangwa is asking for a much more transparent process, I think I agree with him. Pantu takwaba, a very high-paying job. It's a very high-paying job, let's face it. To be a judge, a high court judge in Zambia is an extremely high-paying job. A lot of respect, a lot of perks bakampenga as a judge. For this high-paying job, it is ridiculous that the hiring practices of judges should be shrouded in secrecy. It's unacceptable. Apo kuba MP bantu bavota face kumuchita scrutinize umuntu ayimirina ero abantu bavota aba MP ero aba minister nangulefo okuteka ku FS wayachita campaign wayachula mu bantu kuchita campaign ukuba bepo ovyo waba bepa ero wateka nomba ama judges okay waba lawyer for 10 years bakuchita appoint judge nomba the way you are being appointed abantu balefo okuyishira we in the open, like any if you go at the secret, remember that the Judicial Service Commission is independent. When you and I know that it is not independent. If this thing was independent, would it be appointing the kind of judges that were appointed? The last bunch of judges have already appointed. Wafia. You also for the entire legal profession in Zambia, no yepwadi. Uyu is facing discipline things. Sangwa poshan Panelist. Everybody. The Judicial Service Commission is independent. So what we need is kuisula, make it transparent. Let people apply, apply, scrutinize them, have a transparent process, even in Parliament. Ireland, you judge Ireland, free. You know, not if you go back if you have a secret. Is it a dictatorship? Fiance, it's a secret. No. On that point, therefore, I think on a broader question, I think, yes, John Sangwa has a point. Make the judicial service open. Currently, it has its chairman, Chief Justice Matthew Ngulube. But John Sangwa goes beyond Nokland that even this current Judicial Service Commission, does not deserve to be in that position. In a Judicial Service Commission, yaba PFE. Akana, John Sangwa. No. It has problems. So before you even appoint the new Chief Justice Mbale, Chitenishane, disband the Judicial Service Commission. I think Muliko, you know, Muliko tumano otule sense, you know. But I think in a roadmap, it's better for the president to have the freedom now to appoint the Chief Justice and then clean up this process later, because it will take a few changes, a lot of changes. Now, while we are dealing with this question, the thing is that the Attorney General, we don't have an Attorney General in office, and that's a huge concern. Mama, the president already appointed 3 weeks ago, and 3 weeks later, the Attorney General. That's a big issue. It's huge. Ngalautela kuliko is a stay in the Attorney General. It's fine if it's the same government. Mama, you are transitioning from you to you. It's understandable. No, but when you have a new government, a new way of doing things, 2 months gap in the Attorney General, and yet you are trying to do so much from the justice point of view, it's too much to have no Attorney General. Because, you know, studying Attorney General, I'm politicians. Because Attorney General is not supposed to be a politician. Nangwenchito yakwe detaches him directly from politics. That's very important. So that ama clients bakwe, ama politicians can consult. Elo nomba abe bako abatotosha ko to advise panono. Nimpanda mano Attorney General. Abe bakwati akaka route kutikabomba kateti kabombe. If you went this way, it will be politically risky or it will be legally risky. You know, that's the job of the Attorney General. Now, if any politician basonte leba mulilo kabesha abako kabwe, and Marshal Mujende, a Solicitor General, quite all right. But once they assume those offices, they're supposed to be apolitical, and they're supposed to be lawyers now who are advising the government. Yeah. So imagine all these debates, that seat is empty, that office is empty. So not quite a. Anyway, that's briefly what I would say about Sangwa's argument. Mama, how complex it is. So I agree with Sangwa on one point. Are you also agreeing on the other? Like if you say that, okay, it's okay. Sangwa is okay to say that open up the Judicial Service Commission or fire the current Judicial Service Commission. I think there is a point in saying fire them. As a matter of fact, all these commissions needed to be fired after the coming of the new government. Antu tamwishi wino how if into fide bomba ngale kuba tamfia elo mwasonte lapo bambi nomba months later chile moneka ngala mabuchiri buteko bwaba patriotic front if you feel kalipa abantu bantu if chile moneka kwatsi buchiri buteko bwaba patriotic front. That's what is happening, isn't it? So maybe Sangwa has a point, but somewhere else I think if you are kulanda pape na party or you want to touch to qualify, I think if you feel slightly personal, you know, if you feel slightly personal, if you go that my concern that shouldn't or does not qualify or whatever, no. I think we go over this thing to still concentrate thing. Mama politics affair. You have to learn that no, I'm doing something methodical, no mtimo masana. But crisis comes and it continues compounding on you. You know, it's one mistake after another, one issue after another. You become a firefighter. That is where the issue is. On this is a very important, and so I expected them to be appointed. Number, it's the president, but President Balandira at the which appointed Onshta, but machine. What can we mortal men do? You know, but government, yes, does seem to be quite a dead olera. If you never take a quite no take away, you know, in a state of waiting. That is what is happening. Driver, if you are in the parastatus, kuchinja. By now, you should have had changes. Simple. You go take a wadi changer, so kuchinja. Chanda nomba kuchinja fyonsa kuchinja ko fimo, you know, fimo ifyo na mwishibati. These are cadres mwa change. You know, kwa wako a little shake up. Not, you know, na tumfazesko kuli change recently na kulia number the entire thing. Mwa chinja ko ifintu mwa chita shake. You shake the system because kaingebu teko pia bulipo. Epela. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let me see if there are any. Sangwa should be invited one day. Yeah, we're going to do that. No, judges are very good salaries. So number tetibale randa excuse yako eba titakuwa kwa tolupia. Bantu bali kwa tolupia. Bala forafye bwino. It's not like Fidefi Chari Akade, because under Kaunda and the early days of the Frederick Chiluba government, judges were receiving peanuts. But afterwards, Avena Chiluba Valisa Vapela, very good conditions of judges. Very good. Now let's find out how much they get, because it's open knowledge. Very good. They get a lot of money. I'm a judges. Zambian judges get a lot of money. Zambian judges are well paid. Sana. Bala fole mpie shingi. Ala kariaka poto karia. Kari kwa tolu pia. Akabu judge. A lot of money. I'm a judges. So nomba kanshi. Fimbi ni finshi. Ni ndo. Bako fuaya. Bako watimabe independent. Ulupia mulikwete. Bakampenga mulikwete. Ama maids mulikwete ya uteko. Security mulikwete. Bali mipera bapara. Oku migadinga. Name yotoka. Number, what else do you need? Anyway, those are superior court judges. So we expect independence. Epera. Elias, some allegations you mentioned for Sangwa and true, and for that reason invite Sangwa to this platform. Which allegations? Sorry, which allegations are you talking about, Tenga? Nabalemba karata kuli bakateka ba Sangwa. Eyo nderanda. But anyway, tukabeta. That's why I'm saying that if you fit too many, mwamona, feel about complicated. Yeah. Samson Kalangiride. Yes. They and a lot of perks. Compared with their peers. So by peers, what do I mean? I mean, you take a judge of the seniority and then you take a similarly placed professional in government. Is it a permanent secretary? Is it a deputy permanent secretary? I can't wish. But you compare. Huh? Aba fola peanuts, it's magistrates. Where magistrates, nama local court judges. Alabala chula. That's why you take over. Salaries, magistrates. And yet, magistrates, they deal with everyday donkey work. And they get peanuts for it. Kutari, ako dinka chite qualify. Yeah. Nish ninkota. Nish ninkotera konotifino. Kaingene na ishireva lawyer. Nish nani kotagari. So Pakoba Chief Justice alakutari. You know. But Zambia has relatively got young judges, because Zambians used to become lawyers at about 25, 26. You become a lawyer. So by 35, you've already done 10 years. By 45, you've already done 20 years at the bar. You see. In Osha, of course, now they've gone to do law, so they've become lawyers. So maybe Fikachinjako in the next generation. But each generation, they were becoming lawyers very, very young, right from high school. And you become a lawyer. Imagine, lawyer will be at 22, 23, 24. Ni lawyer wa msangushana. Ndi wa mulomaini? No. All right. Okay. Thank you very much. We do have a team with us here, and so we're going to take some time and process and discuss some of these things. Otherwise, thank you very much for everyone who has been part of TVBAKWETU. This has been your TV, and we do a little bit of things and differently, but that's it. So, number on the screen nishimoneka bwino nga nimfwala kasote, that's why naraka fula ndefwala fipakwati mumone the TV Bakwetu logo. There it is. So subscribe and let us do that. Let's make a movement, you know, because they didn't give a politician because there is no movement. But they can just do anything that they want to do. But when we work together on a platform like TV Bakwetu, the sky is the limit. Okay? So thank you for all the subscribers and all the people that sent stars, and everyone who has sent stars today. I'll be able to see, and in fact, let me do it right away, so that mitashe wino mweba tumina masters. You know, mweba tumina masters, because now we are. Oh, Nshamone, I can't see. I can only see after the broadcast. This is not fair. Imagine, I can only see the star senders after the broadcast. Okay, so I'll do that, and I'll acknowledge you. All right, Frank. I think you are muted. Gladys.
Good evening. Good evening. How are you?
I'm doing good, and you?
I'm very, very good, thank you. I'm very, very good. Oh, by the way, I've just subscribed whilst you were talking, so I'm also a subscribe member.
All right, thank you. How did that go? Was it a very complicated process?
It's very, very simple. It's very simple. So you click on subscribe, then it will ask you how you want to pay for it, and then it will bring up and then you just do it that way. It was done within a minute.
Frank, where did you subscribe? Facebook?
Yes. So when you go on Facebook, there's a green button next to the star. So you got a choice where you buy the star. Right next to it, there's a blue-green button. When you click on that button, it comes up become a member. So
no. I go to my Facebook page. Where Facebook? Where on my Facebook?
No. So you were watching this broadcast.
Oh, wow! So watching this broadcast on Dr. Munshya.
Yes.
So
okay, Munshya, why are you talking? I'm going to Facebook while I'm watching this program. And now explain where is the thing? I'm there.
You see where there's a star. You see where you get the stars.
Yeah, explain, Frank. I'm trying to see where the stars are.
Okay, we'll see. Pesi has subscribed. How did you do it?
Actually, even better. If you go down the bottom of Mr. Munshya's page, he posted a post a few days ago about becoming a member. There's a link there. If you click in that link,
and you can also do it. You can also do it after the program. It's possible.
Okay, I will do it after the program.
Thank you. Yeah, we can do that. And so, anyway, how is your weekend going? I was trying to answer a few questions.
Oh, my weekend is fine. As every Saturday now is spent with my little boy Alexander. He's growing so fast, and trying to get some sleep. When he goes to sleep, you also go to sleep.
Utunensu with the best born, eh?
Oh, I know. Yeah, somebody should have given me a manual.
You should have come to us, Frank. We are veterans. My firstborn is at uni now, and then one is 9. So I'm a professor in that field.
A professor in that field, but somebody tells me that every child is different.
Yeah. I've got 2 of them, and they are totally different. Yeah, one is a mlomolist, is a chatterbox, the small one. The other one is very quiet. Imagine 2 kids.
Well, Patrick, where does he get it from? The chatterbox, eh?
From the mother.
All right, Gladys, how are you doing?
Chungolom Kwaiwa Munshya and the viewers and my colleagues. I'm doing fine, Munshya and if you're
All right, that's wonderful. So I touched on a few themes today.
Munshya, everything I was talking about him is already here.
Oh, there he is. What? Okay, good to see you, Mr.
I've been watching from your YouTube.
Mr. Chilufya.
Mr. Mwelwa Chilufya.
All right.
Okay, good.
Is it not past bedtime now?
Ah, it's trouble, I'm telling you.
Right. You've touched on quite a few points, and there's one point there about making the judicial financial independent, and for me, on that point is we can't go that route. At the end of the day, the judiciary is part of the government. It's part of the government or the way they want to run the country, and we cannot have that. As you mentioned, the judges get paid enough money as it is. You cannot just give them that power and say, "Here's the money. Do whatever you want to do with it." You're giving that power. When you're giving that money, you're giving them more power to do whatever they want to do. And who scrutinizes how they spend that money? Is there somebody watching where that money is going? So you've got a problem with that. If the money is coming from ministry, if the government board is still running this part of the government, why do you want it to be completely separate? What is needed more than anything is to have the right people in it. The judicial system has had the wrong people, were easily corrupted. It's a corrupt system. It's been a corrupt system. So the focus has to be more on how can you make the judicial system to be a lot more, to clear corruption out of the judicial system. Because what in the last regime is people never trusted the judicial system. They never trusted it could do what it needs to do. And the former president added his own people into that judicial system, and we still got the same people who are still running the said judicial system. So then why do you want to give the same people this power?
Right. It makes sense. And the model that Mr. John Sangwa is proposing is very difficult to sustain, in my opinion. I know this matter is actually in court because he has sued in the Constitutional Court. Yeah, but there is no model under the common law countries, anywhere in the Commonwealth, where judicial independence means that the judiciary is able to run its own budget.
No, I think
that's really difficult.
I think the one thing that we have to remember is it's almost like he's treating the judicial system as a system that comes up with the law. The laws are made in Parliament, so you can't have the judicial system. So the judicial system is there to ensure that the laws that are made in Parliament are carried out according to what is decided. Right. So they literally is there to play a role for what the Parliament decides. This is what we think is right for the people, and the judicial system says we are going to enforce what you have proposed. Right.
I think so too. The judiciary, though, should institutionally be independent. I think that's clear. It's a separate arm of government. We've got three arms of government that are co-equal: the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. But no matter what the arm of the government is, political accountability lies with the people of Zambia. And so the executive and the legislature become those two arms of government that are public facing to the public, and we can hold it accountable directly. And we can hold these two accountable even for the activities of the judiciary. And so I think there is sense there in ensuring that money is well accounted for. And if it's the executive that is going to account for the money, then let the executive be able to account for the money. But of course, funding for the judiciary remains a live issue. But the question is, who is going to say how much is enough? And who presents the budget? Now, tuka kanyefye at the government receives 1 billion a year, so tuka kanye into 3. Basenda go a third. I don't think that would be appropriate.
I would think of how the National Health Service is run in the UK. So you get every hospital, they're called a foundation trust. So they present their budget for the year, but it doesn't really matter because the government decides what that budget is. So they'll say for the hospital with the equivalent number of people in the area, this is what your budget is going to be. And then that becomes quite problematic because you'll be sat there as chief exec and you're looking at the budget and you're thinking that's not enough because somebody has actually gone, here is a pot of money, this is what we're given. So in that sense is who decides how much money what High Court's going to get? Do they go away and make a budget, or does the government say this is the amount of money that you're going to operate on, and this is all that we're going to give you? Or can I ring Mr. Government and say I want this amount of money? And then does somebody ask me why? So, for example, if I say this year I want 10 million, does somebody ask me why I want 10 million? Does somebody from finance ministry come and sit down with me and say, can you account with what you're going to do with this 10 million? Or does somebody at Ministry of Finance just sign it off and say, here's 10 million? I think for me, there lies another problem, opens another door for corruption.
Yeah. So there's been several points, and I think Honorable John Sangwa, State Council, is doing a lot for our country. He brings a lot of good debates for the development of the law and political sensitization of our people. And we'll have him one day, I hope, on our program. But it's a mixed bag, and we should be able to scrutinize the differences. On the third term issue, we differed. I had a different opinion. He had a different one, and several other things. And so we hope that even under the current circumstances, there's going to be some common ground. Like some of the things he's talking about are pretty common sense. Like the Judicial Service Commission. If agency is on tama judges, eloma judges state wikateko muntu kubamsonta judge. And if you are corrupt to have a judge, nishchapwa, it's not easy ukubekata. It's not easy to dismiss them. Never. So Nombaganshi, what the Zambians want is a transparent process. So I agree with Sangwa. Transparent process yakoba to muntu mwaishiba. Not abantu bare dumukira. Na muikara adumukira to uni judge. No. If it was
they have to create a clear process. Is how do you become a judge? What do you need to do? What do you need to have achieved? And
that's Judicial Service Commission. Our Judicial Service Commission is independent. Independent. Our constitution is full of this word. This body will be independent and it will not be subject to the control of anybody. This is the kind of hypocrisy that we are saying no to. Even over SEC and DEC. So SEC and DEC are supposed to be independent. But you and I know, if you go that they are independent is nonsense. What we want is that the president should meddle. And how should the president meddle? Kuba pelo rupia ba SEC na ba DEC at Kabombeni amini your corner. The president should be in the corner of these commissions in order for them to do a good job. Not president who are under you are independent, Kasalenya Mano. They are not going to investigate anyone.
So they say, they call them...
Zambians should be able to hold the president accountable for what his police are doing, his soldiers are doing, and what his DEC are doing, and his SEC. They are his organs. If they are not doing a good job, it is you. Number two, let's blame why it's because of SEC, it is because of DEC. Edio balungu ifindu fiare lubana. Tefe baleranda. At no be am innocent. Abantu baleyibomwa. No, I've let the SEC investigate independently. No. You must be there as president to make sure that all these agencies, they are working according to the law and they are doing something that you know you are personally responsible for politically.
They call them independent bodies, but we know that all these bodies really, they're run by the government that is in power. They've never been independent. The control has always been with the government that is running at that particular time. And right. They have to look at all these government. So we can, all these bodies, we may call them independent, but are they up to the task at the moment? Are they up to the task that needs to be done? Like we've said, they've still got the same people who are working for the previous government, still running the same bodies and being expected. Literally what they're telling them, say they're investigating. What? They're investigating themselves. Who are they going to be investigating? Their own friends. I think we expect that the president he talks about being methodical, but for me, it feels like there are crucial areas that he should have made decisions and he should have been swift to make decisions. And these decisions are simply not being made in crucial areas. And he needs these crucial areas to have people who are going to implement the things that he wants to. The PF people still holding on to power in crucial areas. There are PF appointed judges. They're President Lungu's friends who are still working as judges. He still has not cleared them. And until he makes a decision.
No, judges can't be cleared. No. We can't clear judges like that, right? You see the issue. Judges can't be cleared. Yeah. So judges receive security of tenure, meaning once you're appointed as a judge, you've got tenure, right? So they've got security of tenure. So Frank, I just want to make sure that people do not misunderstand as if we are asking that the president should go and fire judges. He can't. Yeah. Right?
But they have to just make sure there's a system. There's a system that is working, that the system is not working like it was working previously. That is the most important thing.
Yeah. Percy?
Anyway, myself, actually, when you think about it, I also agree with some of the things the constitutional lawyer said, or I don't know what title he's got. But for example, it's kind of difficult to say that there is separation of power between the judiciary and the president, because as you said that appointing judges themselves, it's basically shrouded in secret, and basically at the moment, if we had to get some votes and say what political parties the majority of the judges who are in the constitutional court or the normal high court judges, you'd find most of them are PF members. Okay, I'm just throwing it out there. Let's not say that to a TVBAKWETU to say, no, we're just being, And the other thing you mentioned about the these local court magistrates. Yeah, actually, I do agree with you. They do a lot of jobs, and if you think about it, they're the ones who can easily be bribed. If we have to be realistic with the economy, with the way the government wasn't paying people. So how many magistrates do you think they were given backhands to just do something about something? And some of these things we have to be realistic. You are quite right, Munshya, to say that we have to look at how much salary, how much money they are given, or what type of service we should give them in terms of if they need a house, what type of money, and whereby they won't have that career come out at bread. The way the traffic police were doing. You remember the traffic police? They were not worried even if they're not paid by the police. Now you should bread no munanishani for the whole week. So that can also happen to the magistrate. So for me, I agree with you when you said they have to think about their salaries as well. I'll leave it there for the time being.
Right. Thank you. Matthew Mtonga.
Hello.
You're on TVBAKWETU. Good evening.
Good evening.
It's almost midnight. Are you in a midnight place or you are in a day place?
No, not midnight. It's not midnight yet. I'm in UK.
And let an idiot. You're on TVBAKWETU.
Mulishani once. Thank you, Agradis. I've managed to get into the system now. I've been trying to get Munshya to get me in. He hasn't been managed. Last time I paid and I didn't get any response. You said you're coming back to me, but you didn't come back. So thank God I've got in now.
You're welcome.
Okay, yeah, it's an issue anyway. That the letter to the president is quite an open letter, which is, I think it has some issues. Well, Sangwa is literally trying to make sure that Mr. Msonda doesn't come into picture because there will be issues of conflict of interest to the president, and issues that the evidence that he has given that these guys are not really qualified. I think, to me, it makes sense because these guys have been there for some time and things were not even better. So why put them in position this time? So I would recommend the system of being, let it be an open, competition between who wants to be the Chief Justice. It's a good system. I don't know about the independence. The independence of financial independence is something else in this case, because I think as far as the government is concerned, there's need for them to have at least a hand of control in a way, but to give them totally financially and, independence, it will be like an arm of the government that will have, their own. It seems like they'll have nowhere to answer to, you see. But in this case, they're like, the financial is so powerful, so you can control somebody by financial, holding on to their finances.
The executive has veto over money, and then so withhold some money. But control how the judiciary responds.
I think it's not the money that should make them to show their integrity. It's the money is just for accountability. So let somebody be accountable, not themselves being totally, independent, powerful, financially powerful.
And if anything, Mr. Mtonga, judges receive a lot of money. They are one of the most highly paid senior civil servants in our system.
Yeah.
So if they are getting all this money, you today pocket complaints of corruption and stuff like that. So if you can't be independent with your salaries, but the dab wine. Anyway, Mtonga, thank you.
Thank you.
Please stay on. Wiseman.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Good evening, Wiseman.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mtonga. Welcome to TVBAKWETU. How are you? The rest of the team?
I'm in the evening too.
Thank you. I think, Comrade Munshya, first of all, I would like to request, there is a comment which you placed on our screen, but you removed it as quick as possible, where people were saying you were an asset to them. I think such kind of comments, you should put in them there. It's not something if you have to fish. No, it's true. You are an asset to the people of Zambia. So if people are praising you, do you want them to praise you when you are dead? Let them praise you while you are alive. So put such comment there. Coming to the topic at hand, on the issue of transparency about our judges, I think even me, I concur with John Sangwa, but I don't have a problem. I've been seeing the way they do it in South Africa. In South Africa, they have got readers who help the judiciary to choose competent judges who come and save the country. They have got some opposition leaders like Julius Malema who have even invited to come and do some interviews on those judges. Now the problem in Zambia, we have got opposition leaders who are quite Fimbira. I don't think so they can even come and assist the judiciary to appoint people who are competent because the jealousy is too high. So when it comes to such kind of provision, how then, which type of people are we going to be calling to come and interview our judges? Because I'm sure even if we say let us call our doctor Elias Munshya to come and do that, I'm sure even him will be qualified to be a judge. So then, who are we going to choose separate team who will be interviewing those judges, or we are going to be going the South African ways? When it comes to the issue of being independent, I think they will never be independent, those people. If Chimo wa English wachita employ a security company panga or at your company for them to be giving you security, automatically they are independent because it's a company which you have employed, but you are giving them money. You have agreed that this guard will be coming here 18 hours, at least 22 hours. You are independent. No, you intervene and said, "Mune, even to one contract and change." There, it shows that those people somehow they are not independent. So, in as much they want financial from the government, automatically they will never be independent. If you but the president will say, if you take you check it, already, they are not independent. So some of the things we can agree to say such kind of a thing to be just 100% independent. Unless maybe but Africa no, that is my take. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Wiseman. Ila comment na chief miapo wangu. Ikoko lepo in. Thank you, Wiseman. Thank you, Wiseman, for the wise contribution. Now, you need to know that very similar body exists in Zambia. It's known as the Judicial Service Commission. South Africa has also got a similar body, the Judicial Service Commission. The only difference in Zambia is that in Zambia we have used the term known as independent and cannot be controlled by anybody. So that is what Sangwa is fighting against. He's saying, you're saying that it's independent and it cannot be controlled by anybody. And yet, I'm a judges in the past. And they are usually supporters of the president. The president, in fact, akwata mo touch. President Deusala, in your very appointments, I understand that you are independent. So he's proposing, let the Judicial Service Commission be transparent. If you're going to mule judges, no. Transparent. Abantu bachita apply publicly. Mwana pa advert yako judge tapaba. Abantu bachita apply publicly in the newspaper. Lawyers that qualify years at the bar openly bachita apply. Ero nomba kwa scrutiny yabo, public scrutiny. Ero nomba those names either to parliament or to the president to appoint. Not abantu bachita. That's what Honorable Johnson is saying. But of course, he has another beef where he's saying that the current acting Chief Justice does not actually qualify. That's on that one, that wishy. But I don't see anything. I think every person I've spoken to about Justice Michael Msonda, they say that he's a very solid guy. That's what I have heard. Kovo now mfuako kulanda pali Msonda. Barandat is a solid guy. Was he preferred by Lungu over long-standing judges in the Supreme Court? Yes, because his rise was very fast, was very quick, right? Because he didn't Omuntunga as a Supreme Court judge before Tabalachita rise to deputy. Nombakwethu Musonda yali sabako quite fast because very such bypass several older judges in the Supreme Court. But ama judges baba Michael Sata, ama judges abo ba Michael Sata was on Tere, and I think aba be a banda in the Supreme Court. Once by Michael Musonda was preferred, but he's a solid guy. I've heard very good things about him, and I hope if he's the one nominated by the president, that he's going to do a job very well. On his conceptions of independence, financial independence, I agree with it. Financial independence, and Wiseman and Tonga. Financial independence of the judiciary does not mean that number judiciary yambe kuna ina equal to the treasurer. If you feel a little complicated,
Mr. Munshya, do you think that with the president being slow to appoint people in these key roles is just contributing to a lot of this coming through? Because no, if he just went and appoints and everything it's done, it's gone. But now when he's very slow to act, it just leaves room for people to speculate and to make their own opinion of how things are supposed to be, because he's not really creating things the way he thinks they're supposed to be.
Frank, this is 2 months into the new administration. We don't have an attorney general.
Yeah, that's the point I'm trying to make. So because he hasn't gone and appointed people in the role, so people will stand up and say this could be like this, could be like this, because he hasn't really laid up. By him not appointing people in these roles, he hasn't really said this is how we want to run things.
Yeah. That's a huge concern. This is a new government, new priorities, and we are setting up fast-track court systems. We are having to deal with the new Chief Justice. We are having to deal with so many things that really need legal input, and we don't have a government lawyer. Now, we do have the Attorney General's chamber, right? But without an Attorney General, it's pretty bad. And we need to be honest. Because even if you were, look, this guy they should have been ratified very early. Go over Parliament. That's why if in the no, we are following procedure. Procedure, my foot. If you were a new government, you've got a majority in Parliament. You've got leader of government business in the House at Parliament. You've got a clear majority in the House. You are the ruling party, for goodness sake. Parliament is not independent from the ruling party. It has never been, it will never be. That's why you were elected. How can the UPND be telling us that Parliament is independent? Independent from what? Imwe as a ruling party. Ni mumwa kwata program. Ni mweba kweba speaker. At speaker, nomba tulefo kuleta abantu pakubati musteshani. Mubachite thing. Committee over there, and what committee? Kuipanga fyo luchelo. Watch all luchelo. Mwapanga committee to scrutinize these two. Mwantuma lazi sen mulandepo. Lazi niba fazi. Bariaba landapo niba lazi. Ba fazi. Fazi sen mulandepo. Okay, lazi. Ba lazi sen mulandepo. Ba isaba lazi. These two lawyers are extremely well qualified. Ba kavesha muliro. Wiseman waliveshwa ba muliro wai.
No.
Wiseman,
yes, I know. Yes, yeah, I know him, and he was my lecturer as well. And there's something which we have to discuss after the program about him as well. Thank
you. Solid guy, long time legal convener. Ever registered discipline lawyers for a very long time. Legal practitioners committee, or disciplinary committee or something like that. So he was the one disciplining for many years. He's very well regarded, very well respected. And so he's an excellent choice. He's a politician, quite all right, but once he becomes an attorney general, politician namu NMC ya UPND baka fumamo. bakaba independent, but this government requires that input yakoba attorney general or nakwata authority from the constitution is needed. Number procedure ni procedures nshiyo yine takoba procedure when you are the ruling party abantu babimisala nani procedures zinshimulefwa 3 weeks or 2 months later nili samuka chita confirm bakabesha muliro nabamajo mujende excellent lawyers. But on Sunday they are appointed, on Monday mwapanga committee, mwabeta bafaz, mwabeta
Valaz,
not
mwabeta balaz, mwabeta banani, bonse na ifoto wa isa, na bakwetu TV na ifoto wa isa landako. It's over. You take the vote, you ratify them, you move on to do other things. Number, I don't katushuko tukalandira pakobati fintu fyambe kokula funguluka bwino. You know what I mean?
It's very concerning because you hear the plans, and the president's speech at the beginning of the week was very good. It was top. It was something out of the top drawer. But then you see these things happening, and you think, how are you actually going to move on to actually do those things when you can't? Because these things are the foundation of everything that you're going to be doing. You think we are not seeing the foundation yet. In the 3 months in power, that's the things that you do. You build your team in there, and you should not take 3 months. Should have had an idea of what he was going to do. But Patrick, by UPND, Patrick, how do you feel?
Munshya, ni mwe mutumine Frank kunchipusha question instead of you.
Actually, he didn't. I asked myself. I can speak for myself.
Okay. How are you, Bakwetu family?
Patrick,
good evening, viewers.
Patrick, naba muswakisa, naba Munshya, eba muswakisa yaki.
Yeah, Frank, that is a topic of another day. Let's talk about the topic of Munshya has raised, the issues Munshya has raised today. I think Munshya, you've raised some important points here, like local court judges, high court judges. I think when you look at the America, the West, the UK, all civil servants are well remunerated. They are properly remunerated. You know, they've got pension schemes and everything. I work for any NHS. I'm not a civil servant, but we're funded by the government. And we are well remunerated. So that's one of the things that stops people from being bribed. But again, also there should be a good culture of where there is no corruption, and it also needs to start from the top to the bottom. But those judges, they need to be properly remunerated. And then judicial independence financially. I don't agree with that. Yes, they're supposed to be independent in the way they operate, but not financially, because they are part of government. You know, there's no any government department or ministry that should be financially independent. What happens is in the government, there is a budgetary process that happens, and that happens in Ministry of Finance. I don't know how they do it in Zambia. Here in the UK, it's each government department has got a financial management team that is involved in the budgetary process, and it's called business planning. And then actually my job falls under that. Yeah, so we meet with the directors or heads of department, and we look into what they're gonna need the year going forward, you know, what kind of services and everything. And then we work together with them and come up with a budget for that division or service. And then the overall budget of the organization. And then we send it to the government. And then the government will look at it and say, okay, yes, we can afford this.
According to priorities.
According to priorities. Because you can't just pay, priorities. So, and then the budget comes in, they allocate that money to Ministry of, to the Judiciary, but they cannot be independent.
Right.
You know? Yeah. So that is, to me, that is out. They cannot be financially independent, no. You know?
Right.
And then now, on the issue.
Now, I was looking to, because we are already at 1 hour, 30 minutes.
I'll move quickly. Just one point, Vamush. On the issue of Sangwa and the appointment of judges, transparency in the appointment of judges, I think Sangwa is correct. That is not new. In South Africa, I lived in South Africa, and it's happening even now. They appoint judges, the Supreme Court judges, constitutional judges, in an open process. They show it on TV. Everybody watches judges being interviewed. I think in Nigeria also they do it. There are a number of countries now where they are doing it. We've got a situation where Sangwa comes and say, who are the constitutional court judges are not qualified. So if judges were, but Sangwa said it. Sangwa said it. It's not me. I'm just quoting Sangwa. So if that can be avoided, if these judges were appointed openly, transparently, and then also if these judges are found wanting, that judicial commission, independent judicial something, should be able to investigate those judges and reprimand them.
Yeah,
it happens in every country in the world. In Zambia, I've never heard anything like that.
All right, yeah. So sometimes the procedure for appointment is very different from a procedure for dismissal.
Yeah, and then just one point about Munshya. I've also noticed that Sangwa is not happy about Mr. Musonda, the acting Chief Justice. Sangwa thinks if this guy is appointed, it's because of his acquaintance with HH. According to Sangwa, they must have known each other for a long time, and he even helped HH to in the procurement of his first house. So they are friends. So, but Sangwa reckons this guy is not qualified. So what Sangwa is saying? If he's qualified, let him be interviewed. Apply and scrutinize publicly, and then being appointed. I rest my peace.
There is thank you, Bachir. There is a question here from Josephine Shingwele. Let him follow procedures, please. We don't want him to be doing wrong things just because he is in power. Now, I think Josephine was trying to respond to when I say that what procedure. Now, we've got to make it very clear here, and the reason why I'm saying this is there is only one thing. According to Zambian law, when the ruling party takes over, the reason why we call them the ruling party, it is because they are democratically accountable to the people who elected them and gave them the position to be the ruling party. And so, the ruling party determines priorities for the parliament in Zambia. That is common sense. What we are saying is that it should be a priority to confirm appointees that are necessary to run the government. That's what we're saying. And that is part of the procedure. So parliament the UPND should not be telling us that there is a procedure. This is 3 weeks now ever since the Attorney General and the Solicitor General were appointed by the President. There is no reason why it should take 3 weeks for Parliament to convene its committee in order to scrutinize these people. What procedure? Listening to speeches yakwa Boma Lusambo, Shimpundu DNA. That should be a priority. Secondly, Imbalala
Parliament, eh?
Parliament. And what else? What else are the priorities? You need a team in place, for goodness sake. Say that we are not saying that to do away with the procedure. No, you are the ruling party. You are the owners of the procedure. Go and govern this country and stop giving excuses. Because very soon we are going to run out of patience. I shouldn't do that.
Yeah, Munshya, we cannot be in government for 2 months without having a government legal advisor. So who is advising the president? Because the Attorney General is a very important person in government. Actually, he's part of cabinet. Yeah. So we've got a very powerful guy missing in cabinet.
Yeah.
So why are we wasting time to ratify that guy? We've got the majority in parliament. We've got the structures.
Yeah, if this was a continuation of the government, you could say it doesn't matter. But if you have a new government with its own set of priorities and the complexities of what it is saying is on its agenda, it is saying that it is prioritizing the rule of law on the agenda. But they do. I'm telling you.
They're running this thing like they've got 100 years to rule. Like, we got to be slow. We got so much time. Time's gonna run out in 2 years' time. In 4 years' time, everyone's gonna be talking about the next general elections.
Okay, Vamusha, we've got Vamukelebai. Vamukelebai hasn't said anything. My brother.
No, Vachilufia. Vamukelebai, we are going to get you. We've got to close now. Vamukelebai, what do you think? Can we close?
Actually, it's okay. You can go ahead and close, and we can talk in the backyard. There's no problem. I have no complaint about that. Otherwise, it has been a wonderful show, and just remember, my fellow panelists, to be precise and to the point, and with time management. We know Zambians, we are very poor at time management, so that's the issue we need to work on. So Vamosha, it's okay. Let's go to the backyard and discuss.
Where there's no time
the one to close. You say, will you say what we say when we are closing?
Am I the one to close?
Yes.
You want me to close? Thank you so much, fellow viewers. It has been wonderful having you around watching Bakwetu. This has been TVBAKWETU. Thank you so much for your contribution and for your participation. Avena Chiwempala, Avena Copperbelt Kopala, Avena Chipata, Avena Mongo, Kalavo, Shangaumbo. You know, I've even tried to use